Greetings, brethren, and welcome back to How to Get Better at Chess. Today we're going to be playing against a coach on chess.com. He's going to give his input as we play, help me out, maybe tell me what to look for, and I'm going to give you my commentary for my game as well. Last time we played against a 1600 rated opponent, so today we're going to play against a 1000 rated opponent. Maybe we'll see our opponent make some more mistakes, and we'll see how to take advantage of them. So our opponent starts off here with with a nice little e4 big starter opening. Depending on your skill level, there's lots of different things to do here. You might just meet his pawn. You might bring out your knight to defend some squares, or like me, I like playing this Scandinavian move. So this leaves it to being attacked by this pawn. So a lot of the times you'll get takes with the queen, and then bring out the knight, in which I'll have to retreat here or go back. Then you have your queen out. I wouldn't recommend it to beginner players. Bit of a tricky opening. Anyways, my opponent brings out his knight here to try and attack this pawn, because now he wants to win it, instead of, trading here and then getting my queen back. He wants to attack this pawn, but that's not a good move. Why? Because I can just push this pawn forward, and now that knight has to move, and I have a tempo on that knight now. So now I can do, like, he runs back to, try to attack it again. It's not really under any threat because my queen kind of defends here. I can try to lock down the center. This is a good move because, well, I just build a really nice center. I might want to develop some pieces as well. Maybe I want to bring out my knight. Who knows if I want to rush that move. I will do this just because I will attack this pawn and defend against this pawn push in case he doesn't want me to get my center. Okay, so he brings out his pawn. This is not a good move. It doesn't enable anything. This rook can move to this square. Congratulations, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, this knight can't move there anymore. Not that you'd want to move it there, but yeah. Now the guy here says pieces that are strongest when they're active and off their starting square. Do you see a piece that you can activate? Yeah, of course. I guess that would have been my knight, but yeah, I can bring out this knight now. I can bring out this bishop. I can do lots of different things in this position. So very strong for me. We're gonna do a game review afterwards. I would not be surprised if I'm like +1, +2 already. Liked my move. He liked my move too. That's pretty good. We're gonna put this pawn in the center just because it's a generally good idea. Sure, your bishop is happier now that has moved room to move. Of course, development, that's always good. Um, yeah, so we want to bring out our pieces so that we have a head start in our opponent here. I like the scope that this queen has here, so I'm not going to bring out my knight quite yet. I'll bring out a bishop somewhere. Probably this one. We'll just bring him onto that square. Yeah, good. You're developing your bishop and attacking the center. Fantastic. Which piece can join the fight while also influencing the center? Probably this one, I would say, because it's influencing the center. This is a bad move because now what's that rook doing, right? Like, he's got to get this knight out. He's got to get that knight out. But yeah, we'll bring out this knight. Good. You found it. You're ready to castle when the time is right. Yes. So, a lot of people would just rush to castle right here. You don't need to do that at all. Really, no need to do that whatsoever. I love that tension builds when we develop our pieces. Yeah, so he brings out his bishop here. That's fine. Lots of things I could do. I could try to do this and then get like a trade. It kind of doubles my pawns though, and then my king's not great. So that's not a perfect move by any means. So maybe we'll try to do something else. Like maybe we'll just try to develop our queen a little bit. Maybe we'll put our queen there, queen here, and then we can put our bishop there. That sounds good. Yeah, seems like a perfectly reasonable move to me. Or I could like do this and this, in which case I try to attack this bishop and move it out of its square, and then I can also put my own bishop here. That doesn't seem horrible to me. That's why, like, now this is an okay move. He did it over here with his rook, but now this is a much better move for me because it's actually setting something up. This move didn't set anything up. Now his knight's there, it's blocked. It's not really doing that much. So we'll go here. It's probably not great. That's all right. Thanks for playing chess with me. It's always fun to play chess with a friend. Thank you, Coach David. We are very much friends. Okay, so he's attacking this, but it's defended by that, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's get this bishop out of here. I don't like it. Okay, so he goes there. That's good. I'm going to put my bishop on this square, probably. He could have, like, moved to the center here to maybe try to anchor that bishop with the pawn, but I would have probably taken because bishops are a bit better than knights, in my opinion. Okay, so he's, I don't know why you'd retreat your knight. Maybe because it has nowhere better to go. Now it really can't move anywhere. That also just hangs this pawn entirely. You gotta think, okay, he's moving a piece. What did it defend? It defend this. So now we can just take it with pretty much no repercussions whatsoever. Let's test your skills. Can you find your mistake? Yes, we can. Well, there goes my pawn, absolutely. Okay, so he brings back his knight because he's like, oh no. Well, it was just attacking that zone. Like, because he went there, he retreated, and he came back, and yeah, now he's trying to attack this knight. Lots of things we can do here. Well, what I'm going to do is just trade, because then it doubles up his pawns, and then his king is very weak because he's moved all these pieces, but now he's not going to want to castle that. Well, he can't because he moved his rook for some reason. But now he's very behind, so this is a good trade for me. Not to mention that this pawn is now really weak, and if I can get something over there, like maybe I can, let's say, this bishop is blocked by this pawn, so maybe something I want to do is bring it back here, which it's anchored by this pawn, but also then I can threaten things like pushing this pawn to both attack the knight and threaten this fork on this pawn. So bishop here, let's go here, and then if he moves his knight, I don't know, there. Then I can fork both the king and the rook, and well, I could get the rook or I could get the knight if he goes there, you know. So yeah, we're gonna reposition this right here. This is a good idea, I guess. Well, it wasn't quite hanging. This is the bad move. He's trying to, like, you know, go over here or something like that, but now I can attack this knight while also attacking his rook on like a discovered attack there. So that's good for me. I'm not really looking to see where he can, you know, evacuate his knight to. Okay, so yeah, he just realizes that probably a good idea to get his rook out of danger there, so I'll just take this knight for free, basically. Okay, that's a little annoying because he gets his bishop on a nice square there, but other than that, not a huge deal. We can prevent castling totally in its entirety by putting this bishop right here. That's not a bad idea at all, really. I would not mind that much. But he's not really castling anyways, so there's not really a need to do it right now. Especially because what's going to defend it, right? Not too much. Like, I have this check. Doesn't really do anything. I don't know. How long did I have that check? I can't go back in this mode, so I'll have to see later. But yeah, you always got to look for checks, captures, and attacks. This is a check, and it's good. He can block. Maybe it's good to get my queen out of there in general. I'm not entirely sure. It seems pretty good because he has to move his king somewhere, so we can go here. I like this move. It's good. Maybe there's something better there with the bishop going in instead. But yeah, now I have to be worried about this knight. Maybe that wasn't a great move for me, actually. Because this knight here is threatened by this bishop, which he just moved over, and I can't really do anything about it. Without losing my rook anyways. Okay, so I made a mistake. That's okay. Look at all your pieces. Is one of them undefended? Yes, this knight is. We can go back here, but it's kind of just a band-aid. Because then he might check me. Well, if he checks, then I'm just going to trade queen. So, yeah, we'll go back here. That's good. We definitely want to get rid of this pin over here, though. Okay, so yeah, there's a check. What do we want to do here? I like my queen for attacking, but it's probably best to just collect everything back here. That's fine. He wants to trade when he's down a piece. That's totally fine as well. Yeah, probably good to, like, well, I can castle to this side. It's safer, but his pawns. Maybe I want to castle this way to get my rook into the game. We'll go this way, though, just to make sure we're all nice and safe. Okay, he wants to trade. That's totally fine. Pawn, just giving it to me for free entirely. He pushes this pawn because he wants to attack my king, but forgets that it's just unguarded. Okay, so he thinks that maybe he can... maybe he'll sacrifice this pawn. Oh, maybe I won't see it, but yeah, we're going to see that, so... I like this pawn on the square. Good, because it makes it hard for the bishop to leave. Okay, so he's going to go there. That's, you know, that's pretty whatever. We'll go here so that we threaten, like, this. Okay. He's just pushing his pawns. Like, I could have taken this before too, I guess, but there's just so much going on here. He's just willing to give me everything. Like, now I can take this rook, and I can, like, there's a million different pieces that are just hanging here. If I knew you were that dangerous with bishops, I would have traded them off already. Yeah, kind of just giving me everything, so it's okay. This rook is really good here because now the bishop can never leave. Bishop defends the rook, so that's good. One thing you want to do is, like, connecting your rooks is a good idea. So that's cool. Yeah, okay, so I guess his idea is this would be a fun game to review with you afterwards. Coach David, we're going to do that, don't you worry. Yeah, so trade, and then try to get my king on the back rank, but I'm just not going to let that happen. What do I want to do here? There's probably some sort of a checkmate here that I'm not seeing. If I go here. Yeah, the problem is this square is covered by the pawn. It's not great. Just trying to think of a net here. Because if I bring this rook up, then he's going to have to move down somewhere, but then, yeah, that doesn't quite work. Well, it might work. We'll bring this rook into the game. I think that's a good idea. Here. We'll bring this rook into the game. Why not? Okay, so he goes there. We'll secure this bishop here. That is a good idea. Or is that just mate? Wait, give me a second here. Here. Yeah, that should just be checkmate. I don't know if that was forced or not. King must move out of check is, yeah. Here, rook blocks this square, this square, this square. And of course the bishop is defended, which covers this square, and then this, yeah, so that's just checkmate. So we'll just go there. Okay. Good game, Coach David. That was kind of a slog. I don't even know. Absolutely wild game for a 1,000 rated player. We will do a nice little game review here. You built a lead in the opening, then played a tricky tactic. Did I play a tricky tactic? Let's see. Okay, so this is what we have for the game. Yeah, pretty even, I guess, until the end where it was just crazy. Oh, that was a mate in two. No way. Okay, so if I switch over here to the game review tab, and I forgot to fix this over. Sorry about that. Okay, so we played with an 82% accuracy. Coach David played with an 86. I got a great move. I played like a 1700. He played like a 1400. I don't really think so. I think for these bot games, they kind of like raise up the game review level. But yeah, okay. So it's funny because now he's talking to me about the game review, even though we just went over this game. It's pretty funny. Okay, so yeah, we got Scandinavian. It says 0.9 for him, but this is it's like really good for your opponent if they play perfectly. But so like at high level play, they don't do this, but in this, just a standard thing. Okay, so it's a book move, apparently, but also it gives me that advantage. Well, that very slight advantage there. Pawn push, of course. Holy, this was all book? That's crazy. I thought that was just a horrible move. Yeah, see, we were talking about this. We were saying, hey, was that the good move to put the pawn in the center there? I thought it was a good move, but I just chose to develop my knight because, yeah, see, best move is just to take center right away. Yeah, and I was thinking if he pushes, then maybe we put a pawn up or something like that, but yeah. Okay. Opening principles. Yeah, it's holy, oh my goodness. See, this is some theory. This is like where the bot played like insane theory at the beginning, but then just fell off later. I would never think that this is the best move, ever. Ever. I couldn't even tell you why this is the best move. I guess it's just to prevent this bishop from coming to this square for like this pin on the knight, I guess. I'm sure there's some crazy tactic or something down the line, but yeah, I thought this was just the bot freaking out, playing a random move. Well, yeah, so we do best move here. That's totally good. Puts his knight excellent. Bring our bishop out. Just solid opening, Okay, yeah, this is when I knew it was, because, like, nobody moves their rook there. That's just horrible move. Yeah, we bring our knight out. They bring their bishop out. Totally fine. Yeah, just want to get rid of that bishop. He moves back. I develop. He brings his knight out. Yeah, just a blunder there. Oh, well. Happens. Take the free pawn. He goes back. I'm like, okay. Okay, great move is just taking this, I guess, to make this weakness. Okay. So it said that this was a bad move because I wanted to set up like this push-up and to go here. Of course, you should never assume, oh, if I do this, then my opponent doesn't notice it. They'll be fine because if I do this, then my opponent could have done, yeah, just that, and then I can't push that pawn anymore, right? So I didn't think that far ahead, but my opponent missed it, so there you go. A lot of times if you find things, you'll win games. It depends on how good you are against the levels of opponents that you're playing. But yeah, basically he walks right into it because I just pushed this, and he gets his rook out of danger, and I just take the pawn, right? Yeah, we give this check. It says excellent. That's good. We bring back to defend. I almost missed this. I almost missed defending this knight. This would have been dangerous if I didn't have a way to cover it because the bishop sees my rook. But all is well. Yeah, he checks. I'm just going to go back. We're going to trade. He trades. You should never trade when you're down material. Ever. I'm +3, but it says I'm +6. So, yeah, free pawn. Brings his king out to a super weird place. Hangs the rook. Mate in 7, I don't know. Let's see what the mate in 7 was with the rook and stuff here. Okay. Yeah, that's mate in 7 for sure. It's a mate in 7 with, like, it's a forced taking of the rook too, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, I didn't see that. I just took the rook. Nobody's going to blame you. You're still up 6.4. I'm like, okay, this rook on the back rank is good because now this bishop can never leave, and basically the rest of his stuff is all locked down. We put this bishop here to both defend the rook, but also take some squares away. Yeah, he plays that move to try and get the bishop out probably, but then he does that, which, you know. Then we find the mate in 2. I did not see the mate in 2. I just saw, yeah, because I thought he could just go here, honestly. So let's say he goes here. Oh yeah, because the bishop defends this, and then you don't have to defend this bishop. Oh, okay. So a little bit of a box there, a little bit of a mating net, but still a good game. All right, so that's all. That is it. That is all. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you play better at chess. And Godspeed, brethren.